At the time I am recording this, it is midnight, January 1st, here where I'm at in Illinois. Yes, it is 2016. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I know, like, what was it? Something like 4 years ago, we didn't think we were going to see this day. What was that? Like 2012? And look, you know, the Oreo cookies, they set us free. The aliens decided not to invade after all. The earth did not crack in half. Everything was great. It is now 2016, and we continue to go on and make more New Year's resolutions that we do not intend to keep. It's going to be great. So I thought I would start New Year's off with a bit of apocalypse news, and and then I'll have to get back to work because that's what I do all night long. Let me see. Well, for those of you that don't know, the Writers of the Apocalypse became an official publishing house, and its first year is actually this year as an official publishing house as opposed to something under my name only. So I now have the do business name of the Writers of the Apocalypse. Yes, I'm still sick, in case you ain't noticed. It's not as bad as it was. Not as bad as it was. We just put out, like, I just uploaded, like, last night, a book by the Anonymous Desert Rat, which is really the writing team of Leslie Fish and her husband Rasty, called this really long name, A Book of Instructions. Oh no, I have to look it up. It's really, really, really long. And I'm going to be coughing somewhat through this because I'm not going to bother to edit, but we're putting out A Book of Instructions for Living with a Smart Modern Woman in the USA. It's about the size of a chapbook, and it's actually kind of fun. You can go ahead and get it as an ebook, and I believe that you can get Leslie's version of it through CreateSpace, you know, Amazon CreateSpace if you like, and the Apocalypse writers will be following up with their own print version in our online store and available through bookstores. As soon as our publisher distributor works it out and finishes their vetting process and gets it out. That shouldn't take very long, right? Yeah, so it's a good start for a good year. I will be, of course, publishing more by Leslie Fish, and I hope that you will be following us so that you can keep up with the groove, because she's, other than being a fantastic folk singer, she's really an awesome writer, and her stuff is pretty good, which is why we're publishing it, because we like it. And it's really awesome to have her as our first, you know, besides myself, author. Let me think, what else is happening? My New Year's resolutions. Now, normally, you know, I'm going to lose weight. Well, I'm going to always try to lose weight. I am always trying to lose weight. I am always failing. I did manage to lose a few pounds a couple of months ago, and then I got sick, which means I gained it all back. So that's, you know, that's not even a New Year's resolution. That's like a lifelong resolution, you know. But I have two resolutions, and I've been talking about the one for quite some time, and my husband and I are finally at a position where we can go through with it. My New Year's resolution is to quit all of my other jobs before the end of this year. I wanted to do it before yesterday, but I got sick and held up. So I'm not going to be taking on any new commissions except for the very rare trusted client that's already someone I know. And I am quitting. I'm quitting doing mostly book covers. I've already quit formatting books for people. I'm going to be maintaining the pre-covers website that I own, pre-made covers for number4u.com. There are some really talented artists there, and so I will be maintaining it so they can continue to sell their covers and give authors some really good quality book selling covers. But I myself am phasing myself out even more. I probably will do like a cover every now and again for a hobby, and that's about it. I am just completely freeing myself finally after all these years, because I want to finish The Heavenly Bride. And I can't do that working 16 billion jobs. I can't do that, you know. I want to finish the short story I'm doing that's supposed to be with Heavenly Bride book 2 that should have been done already, but no, I had to get sick, and no, I had to take on commissions, and no, I had to pay a bill. And I want to do this. So my New Year's resolution is to get this obstacle that has helped us, fed us, clothed us. It was a lot of fun. I've met some really fantastic people. And if it had not been for the connections I made through this, then I would not be able to have Wota, the publishing company, right now. So I'm thankful for it. But now it's time to move on and take a new turn in 2016. So that is my New Year's resolution, is to get free so that one day I can go, love, I think I feel like going to Ireland this week. And my husband will go, okay, love, let's go. And hop, and we go with our little teacups and we go, who am I kidding? I'm Native American. We don't do teacups. But that's resolution number 1, which leads to New Year's resolution number 2, more music in my life. I was always denied music when I was young. I mean, I could have grabbed it any old way, but, you know, somewhere along the way I had gotten it in my head, probably from getting told this quite often by people around me, that I shouldn't bother, I wasn't good enough, there was no, and, you know, this spirit of despair from being told, you know. 2016 resolution number 2 is I'm going to grab more music in my life. I have already managed to get a cheap little recorder, much like the one I was given as a child in elementary school back, you know, when they actually taught music. And, and lo, I remember how to play it. And I've tried the guitar off and on over the years, and I do have a guitar that gets my attention, but my hands hurt, as we all know. And so I've discovered this instrument that I had heard of but never actually realized it, and it's called the autoharp, also known as the lap harp. And it just so happened that I had a little bit set aside, so with my Christmas money I bought a lap harp, and then I got this other one that's like dead real cheap, both off of eBay. I'm talking like I got them at like a fraction of what people sell autoharps for, like a fraction. Like it was like the gods were like, we will set this aside so that she can get it, knowing she cannot afford these expensive instruments. And so I'm going to show you now part of the 2016 New Year's resolution, the part where I want to record my music. I want to make more music videos. I have songs that I have started to write. I'd like to see them finished. I want to learn more folk songs. You know, I'm ready to be me and live a life. You know, my kids are grown. They don't even want anything to do with me anymore. And, you know, should not be held back by anything except maybe having to get an obligation done here and there now. So let me show you. This is, I have to step back a little so you can see it. Move the chair. This is a autoharp from 1895. Now, I got it really cheap for a reason. This particular model is the Zimmerman, the Favorite. First off, the Zimmerman, the Favorites aren't even in circulation anymore. You can't get parts for them anymore. So I'm going to have to get creative in fixing it. But I look at this, and it's not as far gone as whoever sold it probably thought it was. You can see it had what one luthier, which is a repair person for instruments, they called them monkey repairs, where the case, the glue that holds them together was coming apart, so they screwed it down. And there's a crack right here that I will have to address. And this little instrument's name is Fancy. No, I don't know why. I was going to call it like something else, and just Fancy. It kept being Fancy, Fancy. It's like, I am fancy! 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 So, this is Fancy. And Fancy looks like she's far gone. Been doing a lot of research for the past several days since she came home to here. She's not too far gone. I'm convinced that she can be playable again. There are autoharps that are older than Fancy that are still playable because they were either repaired well or taken very good care of, or both. And what's really interesting about Fancy here is that I have contacted luthier after luthier after luthier who do autoharps. And I have been told not to bother. I have been told she's no good at, no better than for a mantelpiece. And this morning I woke up to a very rude, angry email from a luthier who was offended that I had emailed him to ask for two things. The first thing I asked for was, I've already found out what that there's a special glue you use, but I don't know the name of it. Can you help me? And two, I said, if it turns out that repairing Fancy is too much for me to do, how will I go about getting an estimate from you? Because these people were recommended by a musician that I know. And he was really angry at me for asking. He said that who was I to expect a tradesman to give away how they do their job to someone, basically like I was taking food out of his mouth. And he's like, would a mechanic tell you what to do? Would, another type of serviceman tell you what to do? Being a music repair is serious business. Like, I'm not taking this seriously or something. And so my response to him was, well, when I did ebooks, the reason why I was a very popular ebook person, like really popular, was because I don't just demand for the money and, do cold business. I will tell people tricks of the trade and help them. That's what you do. It's called good customer service. So, and I was like, and for the record, there are many, get my chair. There are many mechanics out there that helped me. Maybe it's because I was a single mother who was lucky to see child support. I don't know. It isn't that I never saw child support. I just didn't see it like consistently. And I didn't qualify for welfare because of that. And so I was like, so many mechanics helped me out. And by the way, an electrician helped me out. And our plumber has given me lots of advice. And what's really cool about that is because he's like that, we won't hire a different plumber. We will only work with him. So thank you. Have a nice year. Wow. So I'm not angry that this guy took offense when he also made it plain that he would not bother. And that's what I've been getting all over the place is, and I quote the very first rejection, I could help you, but I won't. It's like people just feel that Fancy is a lost cause. Well, it's only a lost cause if nobody tries. So I'm going to try. And I could learn, and it's going to help me get to know this instrument, get to know the instrument better. I can be a very technical-minded person, and I really need to know all of the inner workings. And by the way, I'm the same way with my car. Okay, if I go to use a mechanic and you treat me like I'm stupid, I'm going to go somewhere else, just to give you a heads up. But it has been this way, but it has actually been one windfall after another. Getting rejected by one person sent me to another. That person turned out to be a person who was willing to make these strings for this at a very, very, very reasonable price, where no one else can do that anymore. You can't just buy the strings mass market. I'm going to have them made. But it also has taught me that in the future I will be able to make them myself. It's not that hard. It's just a little bit of skill I'm going to have to get. Okay? And being pushed away by that luthier pushed me to look at people who don't specialize in auto harps, because the glue is consistent across the board, right? So, and I found a cello luthier who not only put up a YouTube video on how to do what I need to do, but sells a kit with the glue. So I have emailed them to Sweet. So it's been a little frustrating, but at the same token, it's almost as if something's saying, all right, look, you've been asking for music and asking for time and asking for stuff since you were a little girl. We're going to give it to you because we're tired of hearing you bitch and moan, honey. Just shut up, take the fucking auto harp, do whatever you're going to do. And, I did, and if you're thinking, how silly, she's going to get that and she's not going to know how to play. Yes, I'm going to be learning how to play while I work on this. There is a second auto harp in my position, also a Christmas gift. And what's really cool about that autoharp is that it was created in 1975, which is the year I discovered music, playing music. Was given my first recorder, and deep down inside knew that I wanted music, you know, in some capacity. Because back then I wanted to be a country music singer. And that poor autoharp has been in its original sales box all these years waiting for someone who would play it. And so it's almost like fate that it was made for me the day I decided, the year I decided, and now it's finally here. And I just got to get it some new strings, which they're expensive, so it's not going to happen right away. But yeah, but it's a really exciting beginning for the new year. I mean, yeah, we got our typical worries. The IRS is now hounding us for yet another year that we filed our taxes on, and they have the money over, but for some odd reason we didn't file, even though they've got record that we paid them. But this is a good, positive beginning. And this pertains to you, those of you who actually bothered to listen to the end of this, because all of this boils down to actual resolution that I make every year that I always end up breaking. But please, if we could just make them in sequential order, I'll be able to do this last one. More comics. Heavenly Bride, faster. And you know, I was cleaning the office. I know, yeah, you thought I never did, didn't you? Haha, no, I was cleaning the office and found this. Hold on. Calm down. I'm getting it. Just wait. I miss Akashic. I miss Akashic so hard. I miss making Akashic. And I won't be able to get back to Akashic this year because the Heavenly Bride is not finished. But I'm going to work, if I can follow my New Year's resolutions, I'm going to work even harder towards it. This, of course, means that I'm going to need your help. No, I'm not asking for a donation, even though everybody on the internet does these days. I am asking, though, for your moral support. That would be great. Talk to me a little bit on the vlog. Let me know you're out there, and I'm not just like, you know, talking to, I say that a lot. That's because no one talks to me. But this is really awesome. Happy New Year. I have what looks like a positive, awesome, fantastical beginning. I hope that yours is awesome too. So now I'm going to go back to work. I actually have the next page of Boulder half done. I only have a few days left until not Arcanime. I'm not going to Arcanime this year. Anime Zap up in Peoria, Illinois. We can go because his family's there. But Anime Zap, Peoria, Illinois, next weekend. If you're there, look for me. I don't know what I'm going to be wearing, but you can't miss the hair. Okay, the hair. And say hello. Now I'm going to shut up. I've talked way too long. Bye.